For many of us, as of late, the only way to socialize, shop, and get information has been through social media. But some outlets just aren't keeping up with the online demand. Kevin Caesar joins us this morning to talk about the social
Morning.
media trends. Good morning that we're seeing. So I guess social media in general is kind of usage is up right now, huh?
Ironically, because I was on your show last year, Amanda, and I
Mm-hmm.
talked about those trends declining. So there was definitively a new follower growth and engagement were declining on all channels. What was interesting that what happened was in February, those trends started to reverse. So we had follower growth on Facebook and Instagram, and engagement has increased about over 60% on these
Oh, wow.
channels. And messaging on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp has increased by 50%.
Wow.
So, because of the crisis, we're using these tools to communicate
Mhm.
not only with our family and friends, but with businesses.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, I mean, are there certain sectors of business or areas that are doing particularly well right now on
Yeah,
social?
well, absolutely. You would guess that there are some segments that aren't doing well. So the travel and tourism industry,
Mm,
sports, retail, all in the decline.
yeah.
And there would be one that you would guess that would be doing really well.
Hmm.
News media and entertainment. Their posts per day are up maybe 10%. The other industry that has really seen a boon is healthcare. So a couple great examples in our area: St. Luke's Hospital and Toledo Clinic.
Hmm.
And I've kind of watched them. They've done a great job of stepping it up and really communicating to people because we've had the COVID crisis and there's a tremendous amount of information out there
Sure.
that needs to be clarified and added to
Hmm.
and just basic information. So all businesses, and especially healthcare and medical,
Hmm.
need to communicate whether they're open, whether they're not open, what are the conditions,
Right.
future schedules, stuff like that. So I definitely see why that portion of the industry and why St. Luke's and Toledo Clinic have stepped it up and are really communicating well with their followers.
Yeah, I mean, I know that if I needed to know if something was open or some hours, I mean, sometimes they're adjusting hours. I would reach out to a business on their Facebook page and send them a message like, what are your hours today? And I've noticed that they would get back to me relatively quickly. So, I mean, it's easier to do that than to, call in, have nobody's there to
Yeah,
man the phone, things like that. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. And I've kind of witnessed on St. Luke's and Toledo Clinic. They've reached out. Initially, we had that small crisis where we were lacking PPE, and
Hmm.
they needed additional masks. And that was the perfect forum to kind of reach out to people and communicate to them that need. And I saw a ton of people commenting on those threads, like, here are the schemes for creating these masks. Here's how to get them done. Where do we drop them? So that was a nice communication by
Hmm.
those health facilities and having a problem and getting it solved by that kind of crowdsourced information.
Yeah, the tools are there, you just have to use them the right way and they could really work to
Absolutely.
your advantage there. So, speaking of that, let's talk about messaging a little bit. As a, marketing firm, how can businesses, like, what should their messaging be like? What can they be doing right now to really, really get to consumers?
Well, absolutely. A couple ideas I would give for businesses and for consumers
Hmm.
and how they kind of receive this information is you kind of you witness organizations being automatic, and in a situation like this, it's time to stop and rethink your normal messaging and your normal scheduling. So I actually prepare a crisis or a dark schedule. Would absolutely recommend that for many businesses. And then getting back to business, things have changed, obviously.
Yeah.
Amanda, you've probably developed all kinds of new habits, right? From
Yep.
shopping to eating out to going to the gym to how you communicate to people.
Hmm.
Those habits, it takes about 30 days to develop a habit, and now they're kind of ingrained.
Sure.
So businesses are going to have to understand this, that the customers are different, and figure out new and more precise ways to communicate to them.
Hmm.
Another thing they really need to do is to kill the cliche. So, Amanda, what's your favorite
Uh,
cliche? Is it
if
we're in
I,
this together,
yeah.
or we're here for you.
If I hear though one more time, during these uncertain times, we're
There you
here
go.
for you. Yeah. Yeah, you do hear a lot of the same type of lines out there quite often.
So what I would suggest is, it's an obvious kind of a lazy way to express a sentiment
Yeah.
in the moment, but you should be better than that, and you should look for an opportunity to express that in a different way, to be unique. Because if you see that enough, you're just going
Tune
to
it
kind of
out.
move past it and through it.
Yeah.
And the last thing I would suggest is for businesses to remember gratitude, to reach out and thank your followers and customers, and not just thank the obvious ones. I mean, we love our medical pros, but to thank everybody who has sacrificed during this. It's great to express that gratitude, and especially social is a great platform for that.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the situation, it's brought a lot of clarity to online messaging and content, and maybe we'll get better at talking one-to-one and just shouting to the room. So
How
that's my
about
hope.
that? Maybe. All right. Interesting stuff, Kevin. Great to see you and hear you today.
Very good. Take care,
Take
Amanda.
care. Yeah. Well, this morning we want to give you something.